Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. One of the things that really bothers me over the past little bit is the complete lack of common courtesy in any sort of telecommunications relationship. I'm from a different time. Not saying that I'm some hero that has transferred forward 1,000 years to see what's come, but, I grew up in the 90s and 2000s where computers were coming into their own, but people still did a lot of things the old-fashioned way. This is true even to the 2010s. But one thing I always did, because it's the most basic politeness that you can offer, is when I call somebody's house or business or whatever, I don't know who I have on the line. So I'd say, hello, this is Silverlight. May I please speak to Billy? And they say, oh, Billy stepped out for a moment. Can I take a message or whatever it is? And there I've covered my bases. The person knows who I am, what I'm calling about, and what more can I offer to them? If I'm calling on behalf of a company, I'm Silverlight calling on behalf of ABC Incorporated, and it's basically the same thing. You're introducing yourself. You're not putting yourself on that list of scammers and callers and stuff like that we get every day. It's 2023. How many phone calls a day do you get from weirdos, nut jobs, and scammers that are just there trying to mine you for information? They're telling us not even to use the word yes in our correspondences because that can be cut and paste and make it sound like you are agreeing to some exorbitant contract which you never said yes to. So is this so-and-so? I will never, ever answer that question saying yes, no, anything like that. My first question back will always be, and to whom am I speaking? Today I had, I'll be honest, somebody from regional government. Now I do have some dealings from the regional government, and they've been a joy to speak with, believe me. And last time I used this, they apparently wrote in my file that I was very rude. Really? I'm trying to set myself up because I don't know if this is something to do with my taxes. I don't know if this is something to do with the project that they're planning to do on my property. I don't know if it's just the sewer people trying to tell me, hey, we've noticed that you're using a lot of water lately. All that's fine. But it starts with me being able to ask, please tell me your name. Back in the day, when I was in logistics, there was never a reason to deny the customer your name. No matter how pissed off they were, no matter how unreasonable they were, you still said, yes, this is Silverlight. Who am I speaking to? This is Silverlight. I did have an amusing conversation with a woman. This is back in, say, between 2000 and 2010. And when I told her my real name, she said, okay, that's your phone name. Can you tell me your real name? I'm like, what? And I find it even more curious because before then and since then, people have always told me their real name. Enough so that I could call back and say, can I speak to Hashish? And yes, that's a real person I know. And they would say, oh, yeah, you were talking to them about whatever. I'll put you right over. There was never a disadvantage. Even if you were having trouble with the customer and they were calling back to complain to your boss, it was easy. You would just say, I just spoke to Imelda from Important Core, and she wanted this box delivered today, but we have no outgoing runs. So I told her I could do it first thing this morning, and your manager, if your manager was good, would say, all right, I'll take care of it when they call back. People do fabricate things, which is why I don't particularly mind being recorded, but it boggles the mind why people are so afraid, especially when they're in a position of responsibility like the government or even private industry, to give you their name. I'm dealing with one of the major banks right now, and they're stumbling over themselves to give them my name. It's so fast, I usually miss it, but I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? They're perfectly willing to say, oh, yeah, this is whatever. Imagine the name. You're probably not far off. I've got a whole list of names because you have to track your transactions. Name, confirmation number, all that sort of stuff is pretty common in the industry. And it's worth getting it down for your protection. I spoke with a person in August, and unfortunately, I did not get their name or the confirmation number. And now the company I'm dealing with is trying to deny that conversation took place. They're trying very hard. I went to something called Elevated Customer Care, and when I gave the facts to them, they took 56 days, which was what they're allowed to. And then I can tell they didn't do a spit's worth of research because they came back and said, oh, yeah, this person acted according to the authority that they're given. That's not the problem. I appreciate that, but I was promised something different in this August phone call. So because I didn't get a name, fault's on me. It's probably going to wind up costing me money. But I can deal with that for a little bit. When they call me up, they give me a name. And they say, you know what, just to avoid fraud and this, that, the other thing, this is my name, call me back at this number. And I do appreciate that because I did the exact same thing when I was working all those years and saying, hello, my name is Silverlight. I'm calling from ABC Incorporated. And this is a message for, or this is in regards to whatever. So that way when the person calls me back, we don't send that awkward moment of, I got this message to call you. Do you know what it's about? Nope. And they're being honest. They don't know what it's about. Can't get mad at a customer like that. But it means I have to do twice the research. So it's to your net benefit to tell your client, your customer, whatever it is, who you are, what your business is, etc. It's not rude of them to ask. Quite the opposite. I rather like it. And if I forgot, I like to be reminded. Because everybody's going to have that one day. But I don't know what makes them think they're special, where, I can call you, but I don't have to give out my name. Yes, you're a representative of the organization that you represent. And since I suspect I know which part of the organization it is, I'm going to be calling them on Monday and saying, hey, what happened to this phone call that I inquired about? I probably be told, oh, they tried to contact you, but they say that they couldn't hear you. Well, that's BS, because I happen to know when I asked, who is this? That was when they started saying, oh, I can't hear you. And I've also spoken to other people today. Now, you can see it's a little bit of a cloudy day outside, a little bit damp and stuff. Not a hurricane, not a snowstorm, none of that stuff. So while one line might have been unable to hear, the second one, when they called me back, definitely they're able to hear. I suggest nobody out there does any business with anybody who's not willing to admit who they are. Like I said, in this case, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a scam, but I don't know that. They can spoof numbers these days. Never say yes, and demand names. Because the time, like I said, the time will come, just like me in August, where they'll forget about a transaction that doesn't work in their favor, and they'll substitute the next one. So just a little FYI from the Silverlight Show, we're here to try to prevent you from losing your minds daily. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, put a comment down below, click the bell icon so that you can be notified every time that we upload a new episode, and we hope you have a fantastic day.